Welcome to Engineering Influence, a podcast from the American Council of Engineering Companies, coming to you from the JW Marriott, Austin, Texas. We're here for our 2023 Fall Conference. The podcast is brought to you by HDR, our sponsor for the podcast this year. Very pleased to be kicking off this year's events. We had a busy board meeting this morning. We're going to start with our general sessions tomorrow, Tuesday. We're going to kind of wrap up with an awards program, and part of that award program is our Community Service Awards. Very pleased to be joined by Rizwan Siddiqi. He is the president and CEO of EBA Engineering in Laurel, Maryland, and also past president in ACEC Metro Washington.
Yes.
Welcome to the program, number one.
Thank you.
So I want, there's a lot here because you have a long history of not just, ACEC, but being involved with the council, both at the MO level, but then also national. I mean, you're someone who has been very involved with the council for a long time. Let's first talk about kind of your journey at your firm as president and CEO, what you've done to give back to your community, and how you have found that as a priority. Tell us a little bit about how you view engineering and kind of the intersection with engineering community service.
Thank you, and appreciate your time today. Community service is really a passion.
Mm-hmm.
It's more than a profession, it's a passion. And I have been very lucky in that sense that I got opportunities and I was able to pay back to my community in the best way I could do possible. And that was part of EBA Engineering as a industry service, which I did back to a lot of associations, as well as to our larger community at large.
Mm-hmm.
One of my passion had been to bring younger students to scholarship program, and to bring to engineering and attract them to our profession as well as to ACEC. So when I was the president for Metro Washington, I started a scholarship program there. That was the first year we did, and it was a very good, very well sell, and we were able to do golf outing that year and raised significant amount. And we are on the way in next few years. Hopefully, our MO will become a endowment to carry on to this legacy there. So that's one of the things which is my passion. Other than that, I do get involved in a lot of involvement with the local level of associations, with ACEC activities, and now I'm much involved in the national level, serving on the planning cabinet as well as steering committee for transportation committee also.
Yeah, and then the planning cabinet, of course, is a critical part of ACEC to help guide the strategic direction of the council. With your experience on planning cabinet and also with the transportation steering committee, what would you say to people out there who are ACEC members, but they haven't really gotten engaged with the functional assets or sections of ACEC? What would you say to them to get them involved and active?
So this is, I would say that if you don't get involved, you have no voice to be heard. You have to make a difference, because just by standing outside and watching people swimming doesn't help unless you jump in the water and swim yourself and make a difference there. It's so important. Since I've been involved in our local level, I was also involved in Maryland, ACEC Maryland, and also Metro Washington, both sections, as well as the national. I see a difference where, I can make something good for the community, good for the industry, and I feel better about that. So that's very important for youngsters, for young professionals, for other people in the industry to get involved. And that would only happen that you spend your time. You have to do more than, just by saying or by standing outside. And I'm sure they would find it rewarding once they do it.
I mean, the work that you did at Metro Washington to set up the scholarship and grow that, looking now, and of course the board meeting this morning, Mike Carragher did a good job of explaining where things are with the scholarship program, with the College of Fellows, working with the ACEC Research Institute. seeing how that scholarship program in general has grown, what are your thoughts on that, to see kind of how you kind of started that at the MO level, and now it's being taken on and growing at the national level? What does it mean to you to see these opportunities for students to, to get in and get their education funded?
Yeah, so in fact, this year I was also inducted to the College of Fellows program, and we just had our first meeting today, which I attended, and National also have a scholarship program, which is basically extension of the MO program. And I told the chair today that, Jane, I'm looking forward to how can I help on that.
Yeah.
Because I started that at the first step, and now if it is getting to this level where I can help on national level, that would make much more impact. Because bottom line is that we want to attract more and more students toward the industry.
Yeah.
And I served on a task force established by Governor O'Malley in Maryland a few years back. And that was the task force to identify the need for engineers in the state of Maryland. And you would be surprised that for every 2 jobs, we only have 1 engineer.
And that seems to be the story everywhere.
Exactly,
right?
And that really is concerning for the whole industry.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's just one state I'm telling you, but perhaps every state has the same situation, the shortfall of talented resources and all that. So this pipeline has to be developed, and we have to encourage them, and we have to give them some incentives. And that's why I am doing my best on this part, and I'm sure others can do. And I think ACEC would be a good player to create that pipeline for future engineers down the road.
Yeah.
And that's one of my passions.
I think you're absolutely right, and I think you're in the right place for it. Talking to Daphne and the work that they're doing, talking to Heather, and of course liaison with College of Fellows, it seems like the scholarship program is just growing by leaps and bounds, and it seems that's going to be only growing and becoming. We're interviewing a number of scholarship winners, and they talk about how this has helped them, realize their career in engineering. So hopefully we can solve that, so there's a 1-for-1 instead of a, one job, one engineer, and we don't have that search, right?
Because one thing I have found that when you give that option to the companies and firms that this golf gaming or whatever the program or event you do is for this cause, which is the scholarship program, you get a lot more donations and support and sponsorships. And that is where thing matter, because it's really important for everybody. It's not for me only. I mean, obviously you have to lead certain things, but people follow through. So that's very important to get the program set up, and it will make its way through.
Well, we do have the awards program coming up on Tuesday. I know that you do this because it's the right thing to do. But what does it feel to be honored with, Community Service Award for the work that you have done to give back to the state of Maryland, your community, and the Baltimore area?
Well, that goes back 20 years.
Yeah.
It's not one day's community service. And I really appreciate my wife for her support and my family, because it takes time. And most of these things do not happen just in 8 hours, 8 to 4. It's not 8 to 4 activity. You have to work long hours. You have to work in the evenings. You have to work even on the weekend sometime. And that community service really bridges so many areas, like meeting with the legislatures. I do regularly stay in touch with our elected officials, our government officials. I've been instrumental in changing the procurement laws in different agencies, and that doesn't happen without having relationship, without having connections, and without spending your time and leading those efforts, because you have to have somebody follow you, but you have to lead the thing. So community service really goes. It's a long story, which I won't be able to tell you in 2 minutes, but I can tell you that I feel blessed with the support I got from all my colleagues, my industry peers, and my family. And I'm so thankful to ACEC for this recognition for National ACEC Community Service Award.
Well, Rizwan, we really appreciate all that you've done, both at the MO level and national, with the work with ACEC, and of course your work at the firm. And congratulations. We look forward to celebrating with you on Tuesday. And thanks for joining us. You're a local, so whenever you feel like stopping by to the podcast, come on down, and we'll have you on anytime you want.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate this opportunity.
Well, I appreciate it. And again, this has been another episode of Engineering Influence, a podcast from the American Council of Engineering Companies, coming to you from our 2023 Fall Conference in Austin, Texas, brought to you by HDR. And we will see you next time. Take care.